Realtor Podcast. I am really, really excited. I get to meet and greet and talk to Pam, and her daughter Lillian. And Pam is the owner of Country Grove Garden here in Angleton. I stumbled upon this place because someone from my church was posting about it. And, you know, here in Brazoria County, it's just a matter of finding things for families to do together. And when I saw what was available here, it was just kind of a no-brainer to come meet Pam and talk about what she does here. So, Pam, if you would just kind of introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about what your idea or what your vision was when you created this place.
Okay, so my name's Pam, and really, I'm an artist. First and foremost, I'm a sculptor, and I started out my career as a photographer, and I did professional photography for like 25 years, and then I started just doing full-time sculpting and art, and I had an Etsy shop for many years.
Do you still have it?
It's still there, but it's not active.
Okay.
We moved here to Angleton from Sugar Land 2 years ago, well, about 2.5 years ago, and that's when I closed down my Etsy shop. And before all of that, and before the whole COVID thing happened, I had gone back to college because my kids were, they were in high school, and I just wanted to go back and maybe think about doing a career. And I was going back to school for nursing, which is kind of bizarre for everything else I do, but and then after working in the hospital, I decided that it's really exhausting, and you're on your feet all day, and all the nurses were miserable, and they all had arthritis and back problems, and they just looked unhappy, and the doctors just don't treat people right, and it was just an unpleasant working environment. And so I decided maybe to go into something like working in a lab doing like histology or something. And during COVID, I was doing college from home, and my growing of plants became so intense, and my plants were just reproducing at a phenomenal rate, and I just started giving away plants and trading plants, and then I started selling them, and I was like, I'm making pretty good money doing this, and I really enjoy it. And so I just dropped out of college and decided I'm going to sell plants. And
So can you tell us, and I mean, I have the address here pulled up, but can you kind of tell us like the address of where it's located and how people can get here, and like the hours of operation that you host?
Yes, so we are located on kind of outskirts of Angleton. We're about a mile off 288 on County Road 45 at 48 at the intersection, and you can see the plant flag. And we are open Friday and Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday 10 to 3. And during the week, I'm growing plants, so I'm still here. I'm just working in the greenhouse, and then that's why I'm only on weekends, because it's just me. So
Yeah.
I don't have any employees that can run the place while I'm working in the greenhouse. So
If you're looking for, so that's actually, it rolls right into my next question, but I will say, as soon as I drove up, it just feels like, I think the words that I used was magical. I said, I think this just feels really magical. It feels like you're in, I don't know, it just felt like a sanctuary. So it was very, and of course, I'm not a plant person, only because I kill them. I don't know how to take care of plants, but we'll get into that. I wish I had a green thumb, but I don't. So you talked about your passion about trading plants, growing plants and trading them. So what types of plants do you find that customers like that are most popular?
I have a lot of people coming in looking for things that they want to plant in their gardens.
To consume?
I guess mostly ornamental things, if
Okay.
they're redoing their garden, or their citrus tree died and they want to replace it, stuff like that. But I kind of specialize more in things that you don't find everywhere else, that that you don't find at Home Depot and Walmart and all that stuff in their garden center, because you can get that stuff anywhere. And honestly, they have better prices than I do on some of the landscaping plants because they grow in these giant greenhouses. They grow in bulk. They order for big companies, and somebody small like me can't compete with that. So I focus more on things that we don't find everywhere else that I can grow that are unusual or weird or something you never thought about owning that you might find here that you've never seen before, things like that.
So I will say, a friend of mine from my D group, she brought me a plant, and I'm gonna butcher the name, but I know what it does. Like you squeeze the plant, and it's like soap.
Oh yeah, that's the shampoo ginger. It's a ginger, but it's called shampoo ginger.
Something like that. But I will tell you right now, like it's a clear sebum that comes out of it, but it does have a fragrance, but my hands, they looked cleaner like than just any other soap I've used. And I was like, where did you find this plant? And it's a bulb. It's got like a bulb with, different, it's like pink and green. And you just squeeze the plant, and it comes out with this like sebum stuff that makes your hands clean. But that was incredible to me. And I was like, where did you find that? Would you find that here?
No, I don't have that here. I feel like that's something that maybe you would find from trading with somebody who has it.
Okay, yeah. And I may need help keeping it alive because right now it's in a water jar. There's two little bulbs and it's in a water jar.
And if I were to find some, it's something that I could grow here because I grow a lot of my stuff myself. So yeah. I just have never come across. Sometimes I see people posting it because I also have a group. It's a Sugarland area plant group that I started years ago, and we host 2 swaps a year. And I have seen that there.
It's a really pretty plant. It's a pretty plant, and it's very it's intriguing because of what it does. But I can't keep a cactus alive. Okay, so I'm kind of scared for the plant and for my friend that gave it to me. But another question that I had was, how do you decide what plants to grow here and offer?
Well, I guess having my plant swap, it's a Facebook group.
And how, you said you have that 2 times a month?
So it started out as a Facebook group because there's group swaps all over Houston, but I didn't want to drive 30, 45 minutes to go swap with somebody. So I started our group in Sugarland, so it was only people in the Sugarland area who would just trade plants. And then we decided to hold a swap. So we hold a swap in the spring and the fall. So the next one's coming up in November, and we hold those in Palm Grove Park. It's kind of more in Richmond here. Yeah. So people just come, it's a trunk swap. So we just come with our trunks full of plant cuttings and things that we have too much of, and we just trade with each other. And we just pull a wagon around or pop the trunk open and swap with each other.
And so it's literally just swap, like you don't necessarily pay for them, you're just swapping plants.
There's no money exchange, we just trade them. So that's the way I came up with a whole huge variety of plants. And I kind of learned what people are looking for. And I'll ask people, we'll say, we're going to swap, what do you guys want? What might I have that you want,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what, I know what people are looking for. And then sometimes I'll just ask people, I'm thinking about getting some new plants, what are you guys wanting? What is everybody interested in?
Now, there's got to be a lot of research in how to care for the plant. So is that something that you undertake on your own?
Yes. So, not only through researching online, but through trial and error.
Yeah.
So
I'm a more hands-on person too.
Yes. So I've killed a ton of plants.
Yes.
And
that's from the gardener.
Yeah. So every plant, and having a green thumb it's not like a talent or something you're born with. It's more of an understanding of the plant and what that plant wants, and you can really understand what.
Show her that. She just said what the plant wants.
Yes.
Oh my.
So you can really understand what the plant wants by observing it in its natural environment. For example, I'm a big succulent collector, and most of my succulents that I really love are from the South African desert region. So if you study that area and the rainfall, the amount of sunlight they get, and the media that they grow in, you'll know that they want really well drained soil. That they get a lot of sun, that they pollinate through flies, and they don't have butterflies and stuff there, and that they have weird adaptations that come from living in that area. So it's really interesting, and it's a lot of, I carry a lot of Hoyas, which is something you don't see everywhere. And if you look at the way they grow in the Philippines, they grow in like the canopy of a tree. They're under the canopy. They grow on the bark, so they don't even have their roots in the earth. They're just sitting and whitening the bark, and so the rain just falls through the tree and gets their roots wet, and so they're not really sitting in any water.
But they still get, I mean, they still are able to grow.
Yeah.
So it's not just soil, sunlight, and water. There's a whole lot more to it.
Yeah, and the hard thing is about keeping plants is that every plant wants something different.
It's like a child.
Yeah. So.
This is her child, by the way. This is her daughter.
This is my daughter. So I tell people, if there's something that a plant that you're really good at, for example, like a pothos, which is a very basic house plant. There's so many different varieties and colors and shapes of pothos. You can just start off by collecting all the different pothos, and then once you become really good at them, then you can kind of move on to something that's has similar care to that. And if you're good with that plant, you can move on to something else.
It's literally like, I mean, it's obviously, and I see people posting on Facebook all the time, like, my hobby is plants, but it really is, like, it undertakes so much attention for you to for you to learn what the plant wants.
And it's something you wouldn't think, but plant collecting is really addictive. It really is. It's like, there were days when I first started collecting plants, and it's not just me, because I know so many other people that have this addiction. I moved past it, but there's some days when you have to get a new plant every day. It's like you stop.
I love that you said I grew past it.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Wow.
that addiction lasted for a long time. And even though you have all these plants at home, you're like, yeah, but I really want this one,
But okay, so let's talk about that. What is it that intrigues you about the plant? Is it the amount of care that goes in? What is it that intrigues Mom? You can talk now. You need to talk. She has a really sweet voice. Lillian, what is it that like causes Mom to just go for another plant? Like, what does she walk around the house saying? Like, I need another plant, or that would be something interesting to look at, or oh, look, it's so pretty. How do you know?
Well, I do remember shopping with her. I could go to Home Depot or, Kroger, and she'd always be like, let's stop by the plant section real quick. And I would see her, be like, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one. Oh, but I don't have this variety yet, and she just was gonna get it.
Well, I compare it to Pokemon, where you gotta catch them all.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is cute. And so she would just walk by Lowe's or Home Depot, and she would see different plants and was like, oh, I want to try that one. I want to try that one.
Yeah, and it got a lot worse when you guys started doing the plant swaps, because you're like, here's a list of plants I don't have. Do you have them? So the backyard quickly turned into a forest.
Oh man, that's the other question though. Like, how do you? Because I've been to some of my friends' houses that I've seen, and they have their plants very well trimmed, very well kept, well manicured, and some of them it literally looks like Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how do you? Do you just like accept it? Like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. This is the new norm. Oh, and does it really purify the air, like they say?
Yes, so there are certain plants that remove harmful chemicals from the air, and different plants remove different chemicals. But you can look that up online too, and see specifically which chemical they filter from the air. So,
Is there a particular resource that's like your go-to? That's the resource that you trust. That's what you look into whenever you have a question about plants. Is there something that you go to?
so Texas A&M does a lot of research on plants, and I
Big
feel like that they have a lot of really solid information for farmers, gardeners. It's a trusted source, so the county extension office has a lot of resources too.
Cool. Okay. So like as I mentioned earlier, when I walked in, it just felt magical. So you've created such a beautiful and very, very relaxing environment here. What was your vision, or what was your idea in planning out your nursery as a gathering place in the local community?
I don't really know. I I was so into my plant group, and I feel like having a place where people can come and feel relaxed while they're shopping, take your time. I guess because also I visited like every nursery in Houston and the surrounding areas, so I kind of knew what I wanted, in a nursery. And I mean, of course, my place isn't perfect. I feel like
It is.
it's.
She was like, it's not even clean. I haven't even like swept it or like blown it. I'm like, really? It looks like Eden.
And so I want things that are unique that you don't find everywhere else, things that aren't mass produced, something you can find, gifts or accessories for your plants or different things like that. And then, I have some plants here that have been here for a really long time that are like aged, I guess,
Wow.
So,
and obviously you still take care of them.
yeah, and they're just, nobody ever picked them up. And I'm like, oh, you've been here for 2 years now, So, I feel like it's not something you would see at a regular store because, their plants come and go by the season. But I guess I just wanted some place that people would enjoy coming. You could be like your happy place. You could come when you feel like you're feeling blue and you just want to get out of the house. And I do have regular customers, and I would just like to say that don't feel like I'm going to judge you because I see you every weekend. I'm like, oh, hi friend, you're back. Come see what I have that's
wow.
new,
Yeah. Wow.
So, because I would always be afraid, like, these people are going to think I'm weird coming over here every week, even if I'm not really buying much,
No,
It's
but
just
just to come, like if you, I'm just telling you, like I am not a drinker, but I will say like just coming here, just kind of walking around, being outside, and today is a beautiful day, even though it rains, but it's so, like it's really breezy. It just, I don't know, it smells so clean. Like it just smells clean, and it's pretty. It's very well kept. It's very organized. I do want to point out what we had talked about whenever I came in with the ceramic.
Oh, yeah, the ceramic.
So you mentioned that you're a sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little bit of insight on your sculpting and what you intend whenever people come for that.
Okay, so I think I will start off by saying, like, when I first was introduced to clay in like middle school art, I was like, this is my thing, like I loved clay and Play-Doh and all that stuff when I was a kid, and I draw, paint, all that stuff too, but like, I guess clay is my medium, and so I never really had access to a kiln. And when I had my Etsy shop, I did sculpture pretty much full time, but I kind of went on a weird path there, where I had an oddity shop, and most people who look at me were like, wait, this is your artwork? Because it's really horror based, and it's very like scary artwork. And I actually did some puppets and animatronic stuff too, and
Play?
no, this was mixed media art.
Okay,
So
okay.
I actually had some puppets. Like I had a puppet in a British band movie video, and like a German movie, and like a horror film and stuff. And so, anyways, that was what I did for several years. Yeah, I did all that kind of stuff. And then I also made dolls, which my dolls were scary too.
Scary dolls. Okay.
Yes, so my daughter was like horrified.
Scary dolls. We don't like the scary dolls.
They're not all traditional. Like they didn't all look human, So, anyways,
Were they like zombie?
no, they're like creatures,
Okay.
like things you would see like on Harry Potter.
Yeah,
They're
like
creatures.
like on Maleficent.
Yeah, so I've been a member of the Texas Association of Original Doll Artists, and so they all mostly people in the group make beautiful dolls, and we do different shows and stuff. And I was the girl who had the creepy dolls, but I mean, people said they liked them and they're weird. Some of them were sort of cute in their own weird little way. But anyway, I also do traditional sculpture, but I guess I finally got a kiln, so now I can do ceramic. And that's when I was like, well, since I have all this stuff anyway, I feel like in our workshop we can just set it up and people can come and paint ceramics. And I got access to a whole bunch of old vintage molds because ceramic making was really popular in the 80s and
Yeah,
90s.
that's what you were telling me.
And so I just found like people who were selling old molds and people who like there was a ceramic shop that shut down and I bought some molds from her and then I bought a storage unit with some molds from somebody. So that's what for the most part, some of the things on my shelves are hand sculpted, but for the most part they're made from the molds, which makes it more affordable because I'm not sitting there making it, so I can sell it for cheaper and you can come and have you can paint it and it's not going to break your pocketbook, you know.
Yeah, and do you? So let's talk about that for a little bit. So this kind of goes with the next question. What are the? Do you offer free workshops?
Yes. So well, we do a lot of workshops, and the cost of the workshop covers the cost of the materials.
Yeah.
So I'm not really charging for the workshop, but sometimes it's like $35. But all the classes we did this spring were all completely free because there were no materials involved really. I mean, some of them I just paid for the materials and they were really cheap. But so the classes like we did a butterfly gardening class, I did a propagation 101 class, I did a seed growing class, and those were all free. And I feel like the people who joined me, I feel like they gave me some really good feedback, that they learned a lot, and with the seed growing class especially, they came back and were like, wow, my seeds look so great, I'm so proud of myself, you know? So
But that gives you, I mean,
yeah.
that of course gives you more ammunition to continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might do some of those again this fall. It's just been really hot this summer, so I kind of like, during the summer I just stop workshops because it's like 100 degrees in here. So
It's actually like really, I mean, she has a fan on right now. I know we're probably glistening, but she does have a fan and it actually is very, I mean, because of the way that she has it structured, I mean, there's a constant breeze in here and it's very comfortable.
yeah, and it's starting to cool off a little bit. So
Yep.
so I started workshops again. We have a workshop coming up September 28th, and this one is a cemeterium, which is a terrarium that's going to look like a cemetery. I have it sitting back over there.
Okay. Is that for like Halloween?
Yes, it's for Halloween, so you can enjoy your little tabletop cemetery for all of October.
So, did you make are you making the little sculptures that go in it, or are people going to be able to make their own?
So I sculpted all the gravestones. I didn't think people could do it, and I had to fire them because they're ceramic. So you're going to fill up the dirt, you're going to place the rocks, you're going to put the moss, and then everybody's going to make their own spooky tree though. I have a little wire tree, and I have black wire, so we're going to all twist it and make your own little spooky tree. It's something, I try to make all my workshops at like the lowest level of crafts, because in case somebody's coming that doesn't know how to do crafts.
Or like creativity?
Yeah.
Or feel like they have no creativity?
Yeah. So if you don't have any experience crafting, then you can still do everything.
Yeah. So when I first got here, I saw like behind the camera, you can't see it, but there is a stand that has several different pieces of ceramic figurines. And when I was growing up, I want to say like between the ages of 8 and 11, there was a shop. I don't know if you're from Brazoria County, you remember Hidden Talent. And I was explaining to her, like, they just don't have that anymore. And of course she had mentioned, well, it was really popular in the late 80s, early 90s, which is about that time. But I saw that and it just made me nostalgic. It made me remember that. Okay, so you mentioned the spooky terrarium. What other family activities or events do you have going on throughout the year that you could maybe mention or just briefly describe?
Okay, so this October 5th, we have a fall harvest festival. And so what this is going to be, my daughter, she owns Peanut Butter Pigs, Peanut Pig Rescue.
Okay, and she is going to talk about that in here in a little bit because it was very intriguing to me.
So she's, to the festival, she is sponsoring a bouncy house, like 7 or 8 carnival games she's going to have set up, and then we have fun activities like pumpkin painting contests, and then we're going to do like a sack race, and what else do we do?
We wanted to do a plant walk where it's like musical chairs and wood plants.
Oh, it's like a cakewalk.
Yeah,
Yes.
she didn't know what a cakewalk was, and I was like, oh, I I guess it's kind of an old-fashioned thing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
basically like everybody wins, but whatever you
Yeah.
land on, if you land on the number that they call out while they're playing music, you get a cake.
Yeah.
It's literally, whenever they use that expression, it's like it's a cakewalk. You literally walk around, everybody's a winner.
Yeah. So our festival doesn't have a big budget. It's just like fun things that people can come and do and meet other people in the community. And then one of the main focuses also our market. So we're going to have a lot of local vendors come up and set up tents. We'll have 20 to 25 different local vendors, artisans, people with small businesses coming to set up their tent, and we can shop and visit people. There's a couple that are nonprofits. You can learn about what they do. And
Is it focused on like plants, or I mean, are you?
It's everything.
Everything. So
Yeah.
like, if I have a friend or friends that have like boutiques,
Mhm.
they can come.
Yeah, we have people doing baked goods. We have like a food truck, coffee, all that kind of stuff. The people selling like salsa and their handmade jewelry. I think there's somebody who's doing seasonings, maybe candles, skincare, all kinds of stuff.
Do you have a honey vendor?
No, not yet.
I have a honey vendor.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. He's in my neighborhood. I get honey from him. Okay, and that's happening. When was the date again?
That's October 5th.
October 5th.
It's a Saturday.
Yes.
It's going to be 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, and it'll be. That was my other question. Is this your property?
Yes.
Wow, what a blessing! It is just. I mean, it's on the corner of the two roads, and it's just. Oh, it's just serene. It's so beautiful here. Okay, I had mentioned I kill all things green. So what would you tell me? That you offer classes. You said you mentioned you did a seeding class, like being able, like showing people how to seed plants and things. So do you offer, like, let's say I have a plant that has a disease. It starts growing something, or it starts showing up something on the leaves, and I don't know, what to do. Would you be a resource that I could bring that plant here and then
Yes.
school, like how to fix it?
Yes, I'm also a master gardener, so if I don't know if I'm not able to answer your question, somebody else from the Great County Master Gardeners can answer your question. I tell anybody, if you have any questions about plants, you're welcome to message me on my Facebook page or my website. Send me a photo of your plant or whatever problem you're having, and I'll
And
message
can
you.
you mention that the Facebook page?
Oh, on my Facebook page?
Yeah.
Yes, so my Facebook page is Country Go Gardens on Facebook, and my website is www.countrygogardens.com.
What gave you that name?
Okay, so I had a huge list of names, and
Lillian's like, yes, she did.
so me and my husband were going back and forth. So what I decided, well, when we moved out here, we were saying, let's move out in the country. We want to have chickens. And
She does have chickens.
Yes.
They welcomed me when I got here.
So we don't have goats yet, though. We don't have the fencing for them yet, but maybe next year, or a donkey or something. But yeah, our neighbor has a
They're
donkey.
so sweet.
So anyways, I was like, well, when you first pull up to the store, there's like a grove of oak trees. And so that's where the grove came from. And then it's kind of out in the country for us because we're from Sugar Land. And Sugar Land was a country town when I was a kid. There was no Walmart, we didn't have a big chain grocery store. It was smaller than Angleton is now. But now the population is like 130,000.
Oh, it's exploded.
Yeah,
It's
it's
exploded.
crazy, the traffic's crazy, and I just wanted to get away from all that. So this is our little country grove.
See, that's how I feel about Lake Jackson. Because when I was growing up, Lake Jackson was just, it was a nice town.
Yeah.
But now it's like, it is still a nice town, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
I feel the
I
same.
definitely prefer shopping at Lake Jackson versus Pearland.
Oh, yeah. I think
Pearland is like it's like a hornet's nest,
There's a lot of options, but I think more and more people are coming this way, so it is going to happen eventually. So that was my concern that was my question. Is like I know nothing about growing a plant. I know that you need soil, and I know that it needs water, but like the moment that let's say I go to the store and I pick up a pack of seeds and it says pour seeds in, or like make a hole, or make a whatever they call it, into the soil, and about a fourth of the way down I'm like, oh no, okay, you lost me. Like I have to get a ruler, I have to measure how far it needs to go down, and then I pack it. Oh no, it's like I'm afraid I'm gonna kill it. And like I said, I've literally killed a cactus, several.
I'm the same way. I am horrible with plants, while she's amazing with them. And she has a few plants that I was successful with because they would noticeably get very, very sad whenever you didn't water them. So I was like, oh, you're sad, it's time to water you.
Okay, describe that. That is very intriguing. How does a plant get sad?
Well, those plants, I would call them drama queens.
Oh my gosh.
So, for example, a peace lily, which is kind of a common office plant, it will just completely wilt, like, and it wilts and it looks flat and it looks really sad, like it's dying. But you water it really good and it just pops back up within a few hours.
She's just drama.
So, yeah, she's just a drama queen. So, like, instead of just silently screaming for water, it's like, oh, I'm dead. Look at me, I'm dead. You know?
Oh, I'm wilting.
Yeah.
I need water now.
So there's a few plants like that.
Wow.
And, so I would recommend those for beginners too. And then
the drama plants?
yes, because
they're easy to read.
you'll know when they need them.
They're easy to read.
So
Okay.
yeah. And then there's a few other plants that people tell me they're new. I'll point out certain ones because my sister kills everything, and I have finally successfully got her to have. I think she has like 10 plants now. So
Okay, I'm not, just total disclaimer, I am not going to be a plant lady anytime soon. I have 4 children and a dog.
So I started her out with like one. I gave her one for Mother's Day. She's like, it's still alive. I'm so proud of myself.
It's still alive.
And so the next year I gave her another one, and she's had that one alive for a long time. So this year she kind of went out, and she came and I gave her a few different things to try and gave her some instruction. And people are welcome to message me anytime they get them. So she does like a monthly plant check with me and sends me photos and like, this one's having some brown and stuff. Like, what's going on here? You know?
Wow,
So-
that is such a great resource. I didn't know. I mean, I have a really good friend, a very close friend of mine, and she's a plant mama, and her house is just, I mean, adorned with plants, and it's beautiful. There is a plant, I think it's called the snake plant, but it's like the long, real pretty long leaves, and it has like a pattern. It's like kind of like a lighter white. Oh,
Yeah.
it's stunning to look at. I would love to upkeep a snake plant, but the fact that it's snake, I don't know if I like that. And then my aunt gave me a plant that she said like purifies the air, but it had one long stem and it died. So I don't know. I don't know how to help it, and it's gone.
Well,
But
some of them have fatal blooms.
Yeah.
do tell. What is a fatal bloom? What is a fatal bloom?
Well,
Okay, so a few plants have fatal bloom. It's where once it blooms, that's the end of that plant's life. And so it will usually produce offshoots. So it's giving its life to its babies, basically. And so the babies will continue to grow, and then they'll bloom, and every year it starts over again. And
That's like like Charlotte from Charlotte's Web.
yeah. It's that's something that bromeliads do. They'll produce once they flower. That's the end of their life, and then that plant kind of shrivels up and dies, and it produces a bunch of offshoots from its roots, and then it's time for them to live.
That's kind of sad. Like, I mean, I'm thankful, but that's kind of sad. And all I'm thinking about is just because like I said, I'm a believer. It's amazing to me the detail that goes into it. But now it all makes sense. Whenever God told Adam and Eve to tend to the garden, it's more than just making sure they're watered. Like, He really wanted them to tend to the plants, and they take a lot of tending too. And then of course naming the animals. But it's amazing to me. Okay. One more question, or 2 more questions, and then I actually, if you're okay with it, I would like to show the different plants that you have here, and we'll change mics. What message would you like to share with anyone who's listening and watching that's interested in visiting the nursery and learning about plant care?
I feel like don't be afraid to try something new. Yeah, I see a lot of people who are like, I really like the way this plant looks, but I'm afraid I'm going to kill it. I know I'm going to kill it, you know? And I try to give them my best advice on how to keep that plant alive. And you know what? Even if it dies, maybe you'll learn from what you did wrong.
Sorry, I said one more question. What has been the most common mistake that people do with caring for a plant?
Definitely overwatering.
Really?
Yes.
That is a thing.
Yes.
You can overwater a plant.
Definitely.
You
That's
can literally drown.
If your house plants are dying, you're overwatering.
Do you hear that? If your house plants are dying, you are overwatering them. Well, maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm just afraid they're gonna like suck up and dry, like, you know, die or whatever. Like the drama queens, where they just wilt.
Yeah, and if you tend to overwater, then a drama queen is good for you, because then you can know that it's like actually you can just keep waiting until it starts falling over, and then you know it needs water.
Wow.
So,
And we talk about this a lot, how some plants you just have to ignore them.
She said it.
And so one of my favorite stories is my grandma had an orchid in her bathroom, and she thought it was fake. She had not watered it in over a year, and it was like still alive, just soaking up the moisture in the bathroom.
Oh my, wow. Now, orchids, are those the ones that you just literally do a piece of ice a week?
yes, that's actually pretty bad advice, but the
That's
reason
what it says on the tag.
yeah, the reason why they do that is because they don't care if your plant dies, first of all. But
Right.
second of all, because that's a way of telling you it needs about a tablespoon of water. That's about the size
A
of an
week.
ice cube. Yeah. So,
What about like sunlight? I want to say I've had probably 5 orchids because students have given them to me in the past. They're beautiful, and I would so badly want to keep them alive. But I would take them home, and they would die within a couple of days.
so orchids are actually really, really easy. And I did a class last November for orchids, and everybody who was in the class said, "Oh my God, my orchid's still looking so great." So it's actually you just need to learn how to take care of them.
I came at the wrong time.
So I mean, maybe we'll do that again this year. But so it's also about drainage. The pots that you buy them in the store, they don't have them set up with drainage. So if you're putting water in there, it's just sitting down at the bottom of the pot, and it's going to cause rot. So you need most of those pots have an inner plastic pot. So if you water it, you need to take the inner pot out of the decorative pot, pour out any excess water, and then you can put it back together. Because that water sitting down at the bottom of the pot is going to cause the roots to dry. So that's probably what's happening here, right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I have killed 5 orchids because of rot. That's comforting.
And then when the flower dies on an orchid, the plant is not dead. People always say, "Oh, my flower died, my orchid's
I
dead."
just threw them away.
So the leaves are still alive. The leaves will rebloom every year, and it blooms for between a month to 3 months.
I'm in shock right now.
That's
I
how
have
long-
I have thrown away every orchid plant.
Yeah, and us plant people, we cry. They're like, "Oh, they're throwing away this orchid. There's nothing wrong with it."
Really?
The flower only lasts like a month, but it will rebloom every spring. So I have like maybe 15 orchids in my bathroom window, and they usually bloom. They'll all bloom around April to June.
Yeah, that's
every
usually
year.
coming to
And the
like
rest,
end
the
of
rest
school
of the
day.
year they're just 3 leaves.
What is your? I said last question, but you are so intriguing. Like you're so much fun. What is your favorite plant?
Okay, so I like stapeliads, which are native to South Africa, and they are succulents that smell like rotting corpses.
Yeah, you might have heard of the rotten corpse flower.
Well,
Is this a real thing?
yes.
Do you have it here?
Yes.
Oh, God bless. Can I see it?
Yeah, I actually had one blooming yesterday.
Here? Like here? Like I'm gonna be able to
it was
see
in
it.
it was in my greenhouse, but I do have them here at the store.
I'm gonna smell a rotting corpse.
So they look unusual, and the flower is about as big as your hand spread out, so they're really big. Well, this is a Stapelia gigantea, and if you go to my TikTok, also I have a lot of videos about all these weird plants. You can learn all these.
What's your
weird,
TikTok?
It's just Country Grove Gardens.
Okay.
I have a lot of videos like showing you all the different weird plants in my greenhouse and where they're native to and what's special about them.
Okay.
So that's one of them. But it actually mimics a rotten corpse, and it feels like flesh, and it's hairy. So
I cannot wait. I want to see it. Okay, so seriously, last question. I guess the easiest place for people to find out about upcoming events, do you have like a newsletter? Do you have a subscription? Like, is there somewhere where people can get regular notifications about when you are going to have classes, events?
The main place is from my Facebook page, but I also have an Instagram and my TikTok, and I post on all of those. That's pretty much it. I don't really check my own email, so I don't really email people.
She did email me.
Yeah.
She responded to me.
That's because you let me know you were getting emailed.
Yes. Okay. So the best way to do it is your Facebook page, your TikTok, and your Instagram, and they're all the same. Country Grove Gardens. Gardens or garden?
Gardens with men.
Garden. Country Grove Gardens. All right. Let's talk about you real quick and your special venture. Now, I don't have questions for you, so this is going to be fully, which the other one was fully organic. But Lillian has a nonprofit guinea pig organization.
Yes.
Yes. So do tell.
So we are Peanut Butter Pigs Guinea Pig Rescue.
I have to know where you came up with that.
And we are the only 501c3 nonprofit guinea pig rescue in the entirety of Houston, Texas. There was Space City Guinea Pig Rescue up in North Houston, but they recently closed, so we are the only ones left. So if you ever need help with your guinea pigs, we're a great resource to go to.
And how old are you, Lillian?
I'm 21.
She's 21. She's 21, and she has her own 501c3.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. What drove you to get guinea pigs? Why guinea pigs?
Well, I've always loved guinea pigs, and so did she. And one day we went to this exotic pet store, and they had a huge enclosure just full of guinea pigs, and it was really impulsive. I decided to get one, and now almost 9 years later, I have never not had a guinea pig. I have about 5 of girls of my own right now, as well as 4 sanctuary guinea pigs that we keep on hand.
So the sanctuary, tell me what the difference is between like your personal guinea pigs and then sanctuary guinea pigs.
So with our organization, we have different types of guinea pigs. We have our rescue, our sanctuary, and then our personal pigs, who we call the welcoming committee. So our welcoming committee are guinea pigs who stay permanently because they are either mine or they're sanctuary pigs. And they're really great for a rescue because whenever we get a new pig that's come in who's been through a great deal, they'll be there to be like, this is a safe environment,
The
you're
other guinea
okay.
pigs.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that guinea pigs are very verbal, so they're telling each other stuff.
Yeah,
They have their own little language.
You
Yeah.
guys are literally like I just want to hang out with you all day long. Okay, so guinea pigs. I've had 2 guinea pigs, but I had to get rid of them because I found out I was allergic to guinea
Yes.
on my wedding day because I wanted to say bye to my guinea pigs and I held them up and I had never, because in the classroom I never had a shirt that was like open. I'd always have it up here. So when I would hold the guinea pig up here, it never affected me. But on my wedding day, I was like, bye guys, I love you, you're so sweet. It was Jupiter and Buddy.
Oh.
And I guess, Jupiter, I held Jupiter up and I think he had, obviously they had been rummaging around in the Timothy hay and I just broke out in a huge rash. It didn't hurt or anything, but I had to take Benadryl. So I was a little zonked out on my wedding day. But yeah, I had to take some Benadryl and I was fine, but it made me sad because I really enjoyed them. So is there an alternative? You were telling me there is an alternative.
Yes, there is. So a lot of people are actually allergic to either guinea pigs themselves or a lot of the types of hay.
And she is too.
Yes, I am too.
She's allergic to
It wasn't a big deal for me when I only had 3, but now that I have almost 20, I'm always either breaking out when I hold them, or I had a big respiratory infection in the fall last year that it took me like 3 months to get over.
Wow.
Because it was just a lot. But so with guinea pigs, they are able to eat a lot of different types of hay. Like they can have Timothy hay, they can have orchard hay, they can have meadow hay. So if you're allergic to one sort of hay, it's definitely not the end for your time together. You can look into the alternatives of hay and see which one you're not allergic to.
So where would be the easiest place? Like when I went into Petco and PetSmart to get the hay, it was usually just Timothy hay. So do you order it off of Amazon? Where do you find it?
So luckily now they do have quite a few different varieties in pet stores where you can just pick up a little sample bag and you can rub it on your arm and see if you have any reaction. When people come to adopt, we usually like them to come in and meet the pigs before they adopt. And if they have never had guinea pigs before, I'm like, here, try this on your arm, see if you're allergic before you commit to adopting. Because it can be a really big challenge to be allergic to them. But even though I'm allergic, I just wear gloves whenever I'm handling their hay, so I don't really have much of a
You
reaction.
don't have a hard time. So, which gender is better, male or female?
So it depends on your lifestyle. I prefer girls because you can have a very large herd. Girls are not very territorial. They're very, they love to be together. So you can have over 100 girls together and they won't mind
No
at all.
problem.
No problem. Well, a lot of people will prefer boys because they only come in pairs. If you put any more, they'll fight, and it'll
See, I think I had 2 boys.
yeah, so people will like boys because it's not as big as a commitment. You only need 2, and you can only get 2 girls too if you want. But some people are like, oh, my little boys, So it's just a perfect personal preference.
So as far as like, whenever you're committing to a guinea pig, you need to think long term. I'm gonna have to get another guinea pig for this one. They don't do well by themselves.
Yeah, so they're social animals, and it's actually illegal in some countries to only have one. I'm really hoping they'll adopt that law in the United States as well. But yeah, they definitely need to. Some
Wow.
people say they're fine alone, but how would you feel if there was only like a dog with you and you couldn't talk to him,
couldn't talk to him.
So it's really important to have another member of your species to talk to.
Wow. And they're out here. Can we meet them too?
Yeah, you can meet them, but we have them in an air-conditioned area of the house.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be up to you. Wow. Okay. So, just what is your vision and dream for your peanut butter and jelly?
Peanut butter pig.
Oh, you can
Peanut butter
explain really
pig.
quick the name.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
So,
please do.
people called me Peanut in high school because I'm really, really short.
She's 4.
yeah.
She's 4.
I'm 4'8".
She's
Oh, sorry.
perfectly average.
She's 4'8".
She's perfectly average.
And I used to have brown hair, so people were like, oh, you're a little peanut. And whenever I was trying to think of a name, this was originally the name for my business, my art company. And I decided on peanut butter pigs because I'm peanut and I have pigs. And I was like, well, it's kind of like a little peanut butter jelly sandwich, so why not?
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait.
I wanted it to be a very cute and memorable name.
So, okay, tell me the process of adopting because now I'm intrigued because my son wants a guinea pig and I want guinea pigs because I love. How big do they actually get? Mine didn't get very big.
So guinea pigs can actually, I find the average to be like this big to 12 inches long.
Wow.
So they can be the size of a whole Subway sandwich,
Yeah. Yes.
So they're definitely not big. A lot of the size that you see at the pet store is only about 4 months old, so they do get quite big. They can fill up your whole lap. So they're quite large animals.
That was another thing. As far as behavior goes, when a guinea pig is doing like the barking, is that happy? Is that angry? Is that frustrated? Like, how do you know what to do with a guinea pig?
So guinea pigs, like we said, is very vocal. They
That's
have
hilarious.
they have different vocalizations for however they're feeling, and we all have names for each of the type of sound they make. Like weaking is their most usual, and that means they're happy, they're exploring, they're having fun, and they're talking to you. It's a very happy, loud sound. And then there's like this chittering where they'll rub their teeth together and they'll like feel like they're grinding their teeth.
Yeah.
And that's whenever they're angry, they're annoyed at you, they don't want you to touch them. And then they'll have this thing called rumble busting where they wave their hips and they make this purring sound.
Oh my! You have a dancing guinea pig.
And that's what they do when they're trying to display dominance against another guinea pig. So they're like, this is my territory, I'm trying to look big and tough, so you back away.
And you don't. I mean, I'm assuming you don't see that in females.
No, you do. Yeah.
Wow. She's like, my hips are better than yours.
Yeah.
But
Oh, wow.
she has a clique of mean girl guinea pigs.
Yes.
You can't feminize. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to meet them.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me. Whenever she mentioned that she had this guinea pig, thing, I was like, oh, I really like guinea pigs. So I was very intrigued. But so tell me about the process of adopting. So if someone came in and they said, hey, I'm thinking about adopting a guinea pig, what would they do?
So since we're the only guinea pig rescue, we want to make sure that every guinea pig that goes out is going to have a better life than here with us, and they're never going to come back to us. You know, we want to make sure they live a full happy life with you.
And what is the lifespan, average lifespan?
They live between 4 to 8 years.
Wow. Okay.
So they can live quite long.
Yeah.
After 6 is, you know, old lady territory. So you usually don't see them get that long, but it definitely is possible.
Okay.
But yeah, whenever we're trying to adopt them out, we want to make sure they're going to be a member of your family, not just a pet. So we look for if you have the right cage, if you have the right diet, if your household is going to be a calm and good environment for them. And you know that you're going to be their friend, you're going to go out and play with them, and if all seems well, we can adopt out with you, and we want to make sure that you're knowledgeable. So either we recommend you do research on your own, or we have a variety of different resources ourselves for you to learn all about them.
So when you say make sure you play with them, do you just take them out of the cage? You're not going to put a leash on them and go walk. So like, what do you recommend doing with the guinea pig to keep them active, to keep them social, happy?
So guinea pigs they're quite calm and docile animals. So it can be as much as, you know, putting some stuffed animals around your bed and just letting them crawl around and lay on you, or sit with you while you're watching TV, or like I used to put on some YouTube videos for babies, and they would sit on my lap and watch them.
I cannot.
I
cannot.
So it's really cute. We also recommend floor time, where you just put out a little playpen, and they just wander around for a little while, and then they can go back.
Is it common whenever I had my guinea pigs, I never had an issue with them like going to the bathroom on me. Is that like a common thing?
So guinea pigs are not incontinent like rats. They have a problem with poop just because they're made to make fertilizer for the earth, you know. So they poop a lot, but with pee they can hold it, and they'll warn you whenever they need to go. You know, they'll start fidgeting and be like, I want to go back.
I just put a towel in my lap and just sit on there. So if they go, then it's no big deal.
Yeah. I mean, like when I let the guinea pigs, when I had them in my classroom, I would let them run around the classroom and I had like this little seal that I would put up against the door.
Yeah.
Their favorite place to go was in between the kids' feet, which I was like, guinea pigs are loose, you know, put your feet up. And of course, I would let the kids go barefoot, you know, so they could feel in case the guinea pig brushed up against them. But girl, it was so much fun, and I miss them. I miss having guinea pigs.